Welcome to Shorts Beyond Measure, where fashion, interiors, and psychology get the stylish, savvy, and slightly therapeutic touch.
We're Tara West, Caroline Baltz, and Allison Goldberg, a fashion stylist and two interior designers who are also trained as psychotherapists.
So let's get into what's trending, what's tired, and what's actually worth your time. Because good style and good decisions should never be short-lived.
Good morning, ladies. We have a very special guest that Caroline brought in. Caroline, why don't you introduce this lovely lady?
I'm so excited. Oh, always to be with Remy. She just makes you make everybody feel good.
Oh, thank you.
Remy Stressenger is here with us in studio. We are so excited to have you here. One of the things that I think is so amazing is that we've known each other for a really long time. Mm-hmm. We met through Party in the Park.
Yep.
I think Jeanette introduced us, right?
Yeah.
We go way back with Vincent Club, with multiple different friend groups. And I feel like our friendship kind of started slowly, right?
Yes.
Like, kept seeing you. I always loved being around you. And then it was seeing you in the Nantucket store. So let's jump into Remy. Can you share a little bit about that baby of yours?
My third baby.
Yes. Yes.
My store on Nantucket, which opened 11 years ago. And it was, I'm someone who's, if I get an opportunity for something or something's thrown in my lap, I jump and say yes before I know what I'm doing.
Perfect. I love that about you.
That's a good quality.
Don't think too much about it, because then you won't do it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. It's like if it's someone says, "Hey, do you want to?" I say, "Sure." How are you going to do that? I have no idea.
Worry about it later.
But that takes such confidence. You're like, I'll figure it out.
I don't know if it's confidence or what, but it's
Well, Remy, then, so did you know, I think we've had this conversation before, but I don't remember the answer, but did you know that you always wanted to go into fashion or own a boutique?
No. That first season, somebody said, "Is this a lifelong dream to have a retail store?" And I was like, "Absolutely not."
So how did it transpire then?
I was getting divorced and wanted to work. Ideally, I didn't want alimony. I wanted to be on my own 2 feet, and I wanted to give him a break and not have him have to give me alimony. And that was kind of like
take
that was
the
kind
money
of
and run, girl.
No, it's a pride thing and a power thing, and I didn't want
I understand the
him
power
to have that.
part.
So so I had started a creative concierge business, and I was doing anything creative for people, whether it was like decorating a room, painting something, throwing a party, anything creative.
Oh, wow.
And then I kind of figured something would rise to the top, and that's what I'd focus on, and somehow it became fashion and clothing. So.
Amazing.
Which I wasn't doing in creative concierge.
That was the only area.
Exactly. But I had designed a shawl. I was selling those at trunk shows and pop-ups. And when I got the store on Nantucket in February, I immediately went to a trade show and was like, "Oh God, what am I putting in this store?"
So you started with the rental of that amazing. You've been to Remy on Nantucket.
So cool.
I just want to live there.
I know, if you guys go to Nantucket, you gotta go to Remy.
Which pier is that?
We're on Old South Wharf.
On South Wharf.
Yeah.
It's quintessential.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you
and
go.
then you can go to the sushi place.
Yeah.
What's the sushi place I like near there?
This is an interesting business plan, right? I love when people say that to me, because I'm like, I didn't have a plan and I still don't, but let's go.
I know people are like, "It took me like 6 months to write a business plan." I'm like, "Oh, haven't done that."
Yeah,
You're like, what's a business plan?
I'm like, I don't even know what that means. But so were you nervous, or were you kind of excited? Like, this is happening and I just got to go with it.
It just happened. So it's like I didn't have time to think about being nervous. So
How did you even know where to go to get clothes?
I didn't. I literally didn't. I went to, I think the first show I went to was Coterie in New York, and just walked the aisles and looked for things. And if I look at what was in the store 11 years ago compared to what's in the store now, I'm so much better at it. Like, my eye has gotten better. What I choose is better. It's just more interesting.
Yeah, your pieces are all super unique, and you can't find them anywhere else, which is my favorite part.
I was just going to say that. Like, a lot of the stores in Nantucket, it's like, Oliphant, okay, like, they all have the same inventory, and yours are so unique. Like that Celia Beach, or what is
It's Celia B's from Spain.
Yeah. Oh my God, that is so unique.
She's fun and
detail.
crazy.
Yes, zany. Like, yeah.
So I try to find smaller international brands and bring them in. And once they get discovered and other stores are carrying them, I don't carry them anymore. So
You're the trendsetter.
Do you, because you do have a store in Beacon Hill as well.
yes.
So are they very different in terms of the way you buy for each store? Or are you thinking about which, like the clientele on Nantucket versus Beacon Hill?
I buy what I love, which initially when I was doing this, somebody said, you need to buy what sells versus what you love. And I was like, well, if I'm not selling, I'm wearing it. So I want to love it. Right. And there's stuff I order or comes in and I try it on and it looks horrible on me, but I still love it. It's
Right. It will look good on someone else.
Yeah. Okay, tell us about the shark sweaters.
Oh,
They're famous.
They're so cool. I love
and
those.
they're famous.
Yeah.
so those started, they didn't start as a sweater. They started as a t-shirt during COVID. And we had started to get a lot more great whites up there and sharks because of all the seals. And I always have to find humor in all these, anything. I have the most inappropriate sense of humor at the worst times.
That's why we're friends.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was trying to think of something, cutesy for COVID. And I was going to do a whale with a big mask on it. And people were like, maybe not.
Too literal.
So we did a t-shirt with a seal at the top and 3 sharks below it and the seal asking for social distance.
That's cute.
So then we took that.
I never knew this. That's so funny.
Yep. So then I had started working with a guy making my sweaters and I sent him that shark image and I said, could you try and put this on a cashmere sweater? And we made them in white and navy. We didn't make very many. They arrived the Friday of Shark Week, coincidentally, and sold out.
Oh, wow.
And then I was like, all right, I guess we need to make these again. So we did another round of them. We kept one white and one navy to show people. And when they arrived in October, they all had to be sent out again. So I was like, all right, I guess we're going to do this again. And so that's 7 years ago.
So usually if you do something like that, you do it once and, then you move on to the next thing. But the shark's like...
The shark is
your signature.
Iconic. It is.
I mean, I started to be like, doesn't everybody have one yet?
But you also do an octopus, don't you?
I just started the octopus.
I love that.
Yeah.
I want one of those.
They just came in on Friday.
Ooh.
I'll be your Instagram model.
Well, the cool thing is I feel like Remy and I met in a similar way, and we just kind of kept running into each other. And then you reached out and said, let's do a collaboration for Instagram. And that was like maybe 3 years ago.
Probably.
I don't think it was still COVID anymore. I think it was like maybe on the tail end. I don't know. But, and I hadn't been to her store. I mean, I'd been in Nantucket, but not Beacon Hill. And it was so fun.
What did you do for the collab?
We did a couple outfits I shot
did the shawl.
in Beacon Hill, and it was just like really great clothing, like you said, that you don't see anywhere else. And then, of course, I had to pick Remy's brain about how the hell does she do this all. But it really is impressive. And, the thing about it is as I'm heavily into retail without owning a store, it's very hard to keep a store, 2 stores. Yeah. In Massachusetts, in Boston. We are not the fashion capital of the world, but you're crushing it.
Oh, thank you.
So, what's your secret?
It's
Tara wants to rip you off.
It's the seat of my pants. I'm constantly our winters in Boston, and we had I loved all the snow, but it killed
Yeah, I can imagine.
foot traffic. So business wise, it's not great, but I love the white. I love the snow. And then I'm like, all right, we're done.
Yeah.
But it stays open. Or do both stores stay open year round?
Just one. Because Nantucket, we don't have any insulation. We're one of the old fishing shops.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll open Daffy Weekend at the end of April. And then
we should go to that. Did you just invite us? Okay, we're there.
Daffodils, here we come.
It always does look really fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
So
it's
fun.
crazy.
Should we plan that, guys?
You guys definitely should.
Not kidding.
You definitely should.
April, it's It's the second weekend.
April 24th through
3rd.
6th this year.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever just been like, I'm so done with retail?
Yeah.
Yeah, it must. I always
Every year.
say, yeah, every year. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's almost like the restaurant business in some regards, right? It's like you can have your highs, you can have your lows. It can be a great season, it can be bad. I mean, that's just you got to ride the roller coaster, right?
Well, Nantucket, you get so spoiled with Nantucket because it's like you don't have to really sell a lot on Nantucket because people want something different and fun and to wear out at night, and they want something now to wear that night. And they want to look different and cool. And so everything kind of sells itself out there and you get really spoiled. And then September, October, that starts to slow down out there. And then I'm looking at Boston like, where is everybody?
You're like, come hang out with me.
Come buy a really fun, bright dress in November.
Yeah. Right. But in terms of the how, which it sounds like you had a conversation with Remy about, Tara, how do you do it? Do you have a lot of employees? Do you have to, you sounds like you're the buyer, but what else is your role?
Everything.
You do everything.
I do everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just got really tired.
Yeah. Like I was just telling Caroline when we ran to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, I love when everything starts arriving and it's like Christmas every day. And I look at these boxes and I'm like, oh, crap. I've got to go
unpack them.
Well, not just unpack them because I'd let the girls do that and steam them and everything now. But I have to go upload them all into the inventory and the POS and all of that. And it's...
So did you have a background in business? Like, no. You just figured it out as you went.
Yeah. I mean, I started on Wall Street way back when. And
Well, that's a little bit of a background in business.
Yeah.
Just a
I
little.
didn't study business.
Yeah.
I
but,
forgot that you told us. So, what did you wear in Wall Street? Were you like cheeky, leaky?
I worked in New York, and I know when I was coming back to Boston, my mom was like, "You need to stop buying clothes in New York because they're not going to work in Boston. It's much more conservative." And I was like, "Tough. I'm wearing what I like."
Yeah.
Right.
Good for you.
But yeah,
Because that's so corporate, right?
it's like edgy.
Yeah,
edgy, you
it's
know?
black and edgy, and
Yeah.
like here's like Ralph Lauren.
When I first moved to Boston, I was like, people need to unbutton a button.
Yeah.
It's like, why is nobody breathing?
Because they're so
here?
buttoned up.
It is
Yeah.
so buttoned up.
Right.
And at that point, which I'm really dating myself, nobody wore jeans to dinner. And I was from LA. That's a staple. So I would go back
homeless
home.
chic is a staple in LA.
And my brother would be like, why are you so dressed up to go to dinner? I was like, you don't understand. Nobody wears jeans in Boston. Now it's evolved, obviously.
Yeah.
But it was like a very, very conservative for especially back then. Right?
Yeah. Well, it was also, I think, once we got so many more international students at all the colleges,
Right.
that helped us kind of get a little bit more fashion forward in Boston.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because I remember they were the only ones buying those crazy sneakers at Barney's. They were the ones keeping Barney's afloat.
Yes, definitely.
It got real crazy at the end.
But I love the lesson in this that like you just put a stake in the ground and you figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Like so many people, like I've had patients in my practice being like, I want to start a cupcake business, but I don't know how, and I got to write a business plan, and I got to hire and like I don't have a kitchen, and like just do it. Yeah.
Well, didn't Jeff Bezos start in his garage? Like,
Yeah.
he just did it.
There's something freeing about that because if it fails, you didn't have an expectation for it to succeed because you had no idea what the hell you were doing.
Right.
You know, I mean,
No expectations
There's-
is the path forward.
yeah, when I started my business, I didn't tell anybody. I just kind of decided, and I sent out like these really fun invitations and invited people to shopping events. And I didn't know if anybody was going to come, and I didn't even know what I was doing. But I was like, this is low risk,
Right.
because if nobody comes, then it just didn't happen.
I didn't have to say,
You're
pretend I didn't do it.
right? Which
yeah,
is the fun thing.
exactly.
Well, and for psychological interiors, I was doing the renovation in my own home, and it was taking so long that I started just helping other people with their homes. And there was this tipping point where I was like, no, you don't have to pay me. I'm your friend or whatever. But then
Yeah.
it was like, no, I want to pay you. I want to make this professional because this is actually going to take like 20 hours of your week. So like, let's, and that was what made me flip into running a business.
I didn't start getting paid till I started working with Caroline because I don't know how to ask people. I can't be like, Yeah, you need to pay me now for like my taste.
I think that that's a very fair thing to say. I think money and friends, and I'm sure a lot of people shop at your store that you know that there's a crossover with all of what we do. There's friends who also want to use our services or buy our clothes.
Right.
And at some point you have to know the value of what you do and charge. I went through the same thing. And then people would try to snow me. They'd be like, on your travels, which meant for free.
So does that mean I can't come into your store and just grab a sweater and walk out?
For your Greece trip, you can come get anything.
But Remy, how do you price things like as a store? Because I have no idea how that works.
It depends on the brand. Like some brands will have a suggested price. Like we have definitely had where I had a pair of pants priced, like at a normal, you do like a 2 point whatever. Some people recommend doing 3 times whatever the wholesale is. I don't feel like our market in New England can carry that. But I mentally charge what I'm willing to pay for something. So like I've had friends when I first started my shawls say, oh, you need to charge $750 for that. And I'd be like, I'm not going to pay $750 for that.
You're like, I'm not that great.
Yeah, I mean, they're cool and different, but I mean, my husband's constantly like, you need to raise your prices. You need to raise your prices. You need to raise your prices. And like I have my men's sweater, I sell it for $3.95. I have a store in California that carries it, and he sells it for $4.25. And he told me that in front of Garth last summer. Garth was like, "Told you so."
Yes.
Well, let's stop there, and when we come back, I want to know about how much rent costs.
And other ways you've stuck a stake in the ground and moved forward, right?
Stay tuned.
Okay.
That's it for this week's shortlist. Thanks for listening.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, share it, leave a review, or let us know what's on your short list.
Shorts beyond measure, because the most important things in life can't be quantified.